The problem is the printhead. The printhead is into the printer, not into the cartridge. Changing the ink cartridge is useless. It only contains the ink. Do it cleaning with the Epson Utility Head Cleaning. Not make more than 3 cleaning cycles at a time, or you can damage the printhead. And don't forget, a dozen of cleanings can use half the ink in the cartridge. If it doesn't work, unplug the printer. Take a wet strip of soft cloth. Insert the strip under the printhead. Move the cloth over the printhead. Remove the cloth and move printhead assembly back to its resting position. If there are still problems, try this method. Remove the ink cartridges. Make attention, they may lose ink. You will see the small cone-shaped ink tubes, the ink ports. They take the ink from the cartridge to the printhead. Draw some hot distilled water into a 5 milliliters or 10 milliliters plastic syringe. It's possible to use a mixture of ammonia and water. Place the syringe without the needle over the clogged ink port. Make sure it is a snug fit. Gently push some of the water through the ink ports. Allow the liquid to soak into the printhead. Do not use pressure to force the clog to clear. If you feel resistance, push a little, then pull it back. Slowly eject the syringe plunger to suck up the sediments out from nozzles. A few milliliters of water will do the job. To minimize injecting air into the ink port, it would be better to use a flexible plastic tubing. Make the process a quick one. Without ink cartridges, the open ports tend to dry quickly. Reinsert the ink cartridges. Move printhead assembly back to its resting position. Clean up the water from the paper path and let the printhead soak for at least 3 hours. Do not install the power cord immediately to avoid short. If nothing works, the nozzles are hardly clogged or damaged. The best choice is buy a new printer, unless you have an expensive professional printer. Determine which ink cartridge is not recognized. For printers with the LCD panel, this is indicated by the message or icon displayed. For printers no LCD panel, you can check this using Status Monitor. It's better using Status Monitor to confirm the status of the ink cartridges, because lights can indicate a variety of other issues. Remove the cartridge you have identified for inspection. Wipe the cartridge chip with a lint-free cloth or paper kitchen roll and alcohol. Make attention not to damage it. Detach the electric cable. And check the chip contacts in the printer ink cartridge holder, those little wires that connect to the chip on the cartridge to the printer. Wipe them with a lint-free cloth and alcohol. Push down firmly on the cartridge to make sure it is clicked into place. If it doesn't work, try this. Turn on printer. Take out the unrecognized cartridge. Turn off the printer and wait 10 minutes. Turn on the printer. Put the cartridge back in. If the cartridge is recognized, the printer will begin to charge the ink. Perform a full uninstall and reinstall of the printer driver. Use the latest driver from the Drivers and Software section of the Epson website. If the problem remains, there may be a fault with the ink cartridge. Replace the unrecognized cartridge with a new ink cartridge. Shake the new ink cartridge 4 or 5 times before opening the package. If the problem is solved, there was a fault with the ink cartridge. If nothing works, this indicates the issue is with the printer. Contact Epson for further advice. Remember to install genuine Epson cartridge or Epson Made in warranty or refuse reparation. Probably, the problem is the print head. The print head is into the printer. It's useless to change the ink cartridge. Try a test print, clicking on Properties. If the print is OK, verify the connection between the printer and the PC. Reinstall the printer driver. Try printing a different file. If the problem is limited with its specific document, try recreating the document. Make sure the printer's software settings are appropriate for the paper size. Install the latest driver for the printer, downloaded from the official support website. Clean the electronic contents of the printhead with isopropyl alcohol. The printhead may be blocked with dried ink. Try this method. Most ink cartridges ship with a small strip of protective tape. If you don't remove the tape, the cartridge won't be able to print. Make sure that the cartridges are seated correctly. Remove and reinstall all cartridges. If nothing works, there is an electrical problem into the logical board or the printhead. Unfortunately, you'll probably need to contact service. When a printer prints vertical lines, probably it's not fault of the cartridge. Look inside the printer in the paper path or near the carriage of the printhead. Maybe a piece of paper or something else is jammed there. Clean the printhead belt. Move the printhead. Clean the waste ink sponge. The waste ink sponge is where the printhead lay down. Wait a minute to do a cleaning procedure. When your printer is working, but the colors are not the expected colors, probably one of the color printhead is clogged or defective. The printers produce colors using cyan, magenta, and yellow, the key primary colors, and black. Each dot is either made up of one of these basic colors or intentionally left blank. If one of this color is absent or defective, the colors in your print will be wrong. Print a test page to identify which is the defective color printhead. If all nozzles are present, the problem is ink contamination between colors. Do a cleaning with the Epson Utility Head Cleaning. Check ink levels. If one of the cartridges is low, that may be the problem. Remember, the color generated on the printed page is dependent on the particular printer model, not by the color shown on the screen. Reproducing color viewed on a monitor to exactly match printer output is very difficult. Search visually where is the problem. Follow that paper path from feed paper cassette to the output tray. If the stuck paper is visible, manually remove it. Whenever possible, pull the jammed paper in the direction of normal motion through the printer and avoid using excessive force. While you're at it, check for foreign objects that may have caused the paper jam, such as a paper clip or a pen cap. Clean the paper feed rollers with isopropyl alcohol. If you continue to receive a printer jam error message and you see no paper that is stuck in the printer, it's likely a printer is experiencing hardware issues. Probably some paper path sensor. Contact the printer manufacturer for repair.